Live.
We are. Okay. Hey, everyone. Welcome to our business training this month. I am going to tag everybody on the page. And I want to first and foremost thank Jennifer and Allison for being on with me today. Robin was unable to make it, which happens. We totally understand and hope everything is going well with her. We are here to talk to you guys today about sampling. So before I dive in, I want to talk to you guys just a little bit about sampling as a general concept in social sales. First and foremost, you do not have to sample. You don't have to, right? We go to Sephora, to Walmart, to wherever you Walgreens, and buy product without knowing for sure we are going to like it. We don't know if we're going to love it. But it was so helpful for me in my business when I was in the field to kind of have an offering, to use it as a customer touch point or customer care, and to just it was something that I really liked curating for my customers and really gave me a reason to consistently reach out to people. So we're going to talk about a few aspects of sampling today. And Jennifer is going to start for us. Before you dive in, Jennifer, will you tell us why you use sampling in your business and how you feel like it helps?
Good morning, everyone. Excited to be here. I use sampling in my business a couple of different ways. One, I use it to get new customers. So when I do online events, I offer samples to allow people to try the product. I also use sampling for those that have purchased in the past or make a purchase from me. I make sure that they get a sample of possibly something they haven't tried yet, so that expands their horizon of the offering that we have. I also do birthday cards where I send out a sample so that people, while they may not ask for a sample or may not have tried the sample, they get an opportunity to try the products and know that they are welcome in my business, whether they make a purchase or not. So I'm kind of covering two topics today, ways to make the sample and tools. So I'm going to combine them and kind of take you through my sample journey as I've been through different companies and where I started and where I'm at right now. So when I first started sampling, as you may have seen with the water sample this month, I started with Laycons, and Shanae shared the link for a 1.20, which is pretty small. Remember, where you're sampling, while it looks big, it's to get it on the person so they can feel it, smell it, check for allergies. It's not a week supply. It can be a simple drop. It doesn't need to be full. I also use what I think is a 1/8. I have lots of these left. I use these more for the body butters and the scalp and body scrub, because you do need a little bit more. And sometimes I use these if I'm doing something special with like a deluxe giveaway. I will give them more than what the 1/20th offers. So after I have these, obviously I label them. And when I first started, I did not have a lot of tools, didn't have a lot of resources. So one of the things that I had on hand that I like to use are these little multi-use labels. These are probably, you've seen them for your garage sales. They're cute little stickers. And I just write the name of the product on it and then label the top of the Laycon so that they know what they're getting. And then either write out how to use the product or create an instruction card that I insert in the package that I'm sending them, or the envelope that I'm using. As I progressed, Avery makes fun sheets that are like solid white that are sticker. And what you can do is, Align has provided us with sample labels that are both circular and square, I believe. For the circular, you can print out a batch sheet on this. And then I happen to be a scrapbooker, so I have this little 1-inch tool that you just go in, and once you've printed them, pop them out, peel the label, and label your Laycons that way. So it has a little bit more of a professional printed view. Not gonna lie, that got a little manual intensive on my poor hands. So I upgraded to the Avery label sheets. So I am not good with a printer, cannot get them to go where they need to be. So I invested, there's a lady on Facebook, and I'm happy to share her name if that's okay with Shanae. She actually pre-prints them. So what I did is I have these labels, if you can see them. They have my contact information, how to get a hold of me. I put those on the back of the Lakon, so if somebody hands it to another friend, they have my information if they enjoyed the product. And then to keep things simple, because I ran into the issue before that I'd print all of one product on a page and then either the product went away or it was out of stock. And then I had this waste of label sheets. So I keep it very simple and had her make a basic sample sheet where I can write in the name and it has my website on it. So if I'm not double siding the Lakon, at least they know where to find me online. Another fun tool that I use, since we did have bath bars, we do have bath bars back in stock, is I cut samples and I use little jewelry envelopes. And I get these at Walmart. They're super cheap. You can fit a little piece of soap in there and then label it again with your circulars. Fast forward to Align, I knew I would be sending out a lot more samples. Lakons are expensive to ship out. So when Align first started, I invested in the hot seal packets. And I did this because I did a little bit of investing up front. I created my own personal card. So in the past, I always used, you can get them at the dollar store. I found over the years that Michael's and Joann's have these great boxes, and many times they're buy two, get one free, 70% off. Always look for the high quantity when you're ordering. They were super cheap. I upgraded and created my own card. So it's kind of like a sample card. And then inside, I have my samples. And I can fit about 3 in here on a regular postage stamp because the heat seals do not take a lot of product or they overflow and then they start coming all over. So that is what I upgraded to. These are kind of what my samples look like. Like I say, I dropped these in the envelope, normal 37, 39-cent stamp. And that's how I do my samples. Fast forward, again, I upgraded. I invested, actually, I got it as a Christmas gift that I was kind of angry about because I don't like to get business tools for Christmas, but this was a great investment. The Dymo labeler. I use this because I can interchange my labels. So if I'm shipping things, if you're ordering for a customer, you can do shipping labels, or you can do the nice ones that Align has given you in the website. The downfall with the Dymo is if you're a colorful printer, it only prints black and white, which works great with Align because we kind of have those black and white colors. But that's what I do. I can print off them very quickly, start slapping them on my heat seals. And it's a much faster process for me. Then it's just a matter of taking the product, filling it. And then another tool that I invested in that Shanae has talked about, which you may or may not have seen, is what's called an impulse sealer. So what this is it's kind of a glorified hair straightener. You can use a hair straightener too. I just didn't like the clamping on my hands. It's just a matter you pop it down, it seals, and you run through the process. So I have a lot of different tools here that I've used over the years for all budget tapes. If anybody needs links to any of these, happy to share them. I know Shanae has some of them on the water sample this month, but I'm happy to share anything that you have seen here today. And if you have any questions, please ask them in the comments.
Perfect. Yes, we are definitely going to ask you to share your links and your tools and all of those things. One thing about running a business is you really, really have to find what works for you. And I love how you went through like, this is what I started with. That's great. if that's where you are, that's where you should be, right? And then, as you start doing it more and more and more, you find what really works for you. And I think that's one of the best takeaways people can use when they're figuring out sampling and what works for them. Okay, Allison, are you ready,
I
Freddie?
am ready.
Thank you.
Yes. Hi, everyone. I'm so excited to be here. I don't know if you were taking notes from Jennifer, but I sure did. And I'm definitely loving the birthday card ideas for extra reach outs. So I'm going to be covering sampling for new customers and maybe some different ways to reach out and different things that you may or may not have thought of. The very first thing I would say is personal reach outs. Um, don't be, yes, they take a little bit more time than just a blanket message, but you're going to get the most results from personal reach outs. Sending someone a message, I like to just use one product if I can. I love sampling Soothe because it's been a true game changer for me. And so I'll reach out to a friend or someone that hasn't had the product on them yet and just say, hey, can I send you a sample? I would love to get your feedback. I feel like that reaches a little bit differently than would you like a sample? Um, and just tell them, no pressure. I truly just want, I love this product and I want you to try it and see what you think of it. Um, think about different solutions to problems people may have. I have a lot of friends that work in office jobs. Their hands, they're touching paper, their hands get dry. That's a great person to ask if they would like a sample of our healing hand cream and maybe looking up their birthday and sending them the scent that corresponds with their sign. Um, weather changes. I know Shanae and Jennifer and I were talking about weather before we got on here. And no matter where you are, spring is coming, things are going to be changing, skin is going to be changing. So using that as a way to reach out. Um, and then just sharing the love of self-care, I feel like winter can be a really hard time for people and just reaching out and saying, hey, I would love to send you a little sample to help cheer up your day. Um, so personal reach outs, always number one. If you have VIP groups, asking if anybody on there would like samples, getting your sample form, which I know um, I believe Shanae had created our JOT form that as you progress through your alignment assignments, you can link that and people can fill that out. Or doing sample of the month in your VIP groups this month. Align is focusing on water, and so really great tools are being provided for us for that. So easy to put on your VIP groups, talk about water, see who wants to get their hands on it. Um, sending samples as thank yous for participation in your groups. I think that's a really great way. Jennifer kind of touched on that you can give someone a sample as a thank you, and they don't necessarily have to ask for it. So she mentioned birthdays too, and I think that's another really great way to utilize your groups. Um, outside of that, host a Galentine's party. It's almost Valentine's. Get your girlfriends together. I know not all of my friends have gotten their hands on the Align products yet, um, but do like a facials and flannels party. Have everyone come over in PJs and get to try some products and just have a good time. Maybe get a little couple sample facial kits together and do that. Um, now that holidays have kind of are a little bit in our rearview mirror, I'm starting to see a few more vendor events coming up, and that's a really great way to reach new customers um, and different touch points and getting product on people. I think that's the biggest thing because I do love our products and I think they speak for themselves. So just getting the opportunity to reach out to new people. Also, other vendors. Vendors like to support other vendors and small businesses. And so, utilizing the people in the community that you have around you, I think is really important. Otherwise, local shops, if I live in a really small town, You can go around and talk to people and just say, hey, I would love to bring by some samples for you and your employees. Um, would that be okay? And making those personal connections. If you're going to the post office and you're sending out Align samples, ask the person behind the counter, say, hey, I come in all the time and send these out, but would you like to try some? Um, and I think the other thing is just talking about Align. You know, when you're out and about, if it comes up in conversation, don't be afraid to say, you know what, I'm using these really great products and I'd love to share them with you. I think sometimes we can get in our own head. I know I do a little bit sometimes of like, how do I bring that up? But the more you do it, the more it will become easier to talk about and you won't feel as hesitant. So trying to keep some samples on you, using those little heat seal packets, I think is a great way. If you can get even your QR code printed on there so they can just scan that to get the link to your direct site. But having a couple of those packets with you for easy handouts when things come up. So I think there's a lot of really great opportunities to reach new people, especially if you don't already have a really large database of people to pull from. And I think that's all I have.
Perfect. Okay, while I'm going to talk about a couple of things here too, just kind of like sampling 101. And I took a lot of notes. So for Christy is asking what size of round stickers. I'm pretty sure Jennifer showed them, but I have these too, and they are also from Walmart. I think you can get them for like $2, and they come in little sheets like this, and you can actually print on these. So Christy asked that. I think these are 1-inch stickers. Okay, so Jennifer and Allison have done a fantastic job kind of talking about the tools and then ways that you can use samples in your business. So while I'm chatting, I want you guys to drop any questions that you have about sampling, and we will all answer them at the end. So you're going to get, 3 answers are always better than 1. And even though it's not like I am disconnected from the field, it was not that long ago that I was there. I have never been in the field with Align. So truly, Jennifer and Allison are your experts. But I wanted to talk just a little bit about a few tips when deciding what and how and when to sample, especially for some of the customers that you already have. So as I said, I used sampling a lot in my business, but I'm going to tell you some of the things that I learned the hard way. So first and foremost, I curated my offering. Okay, just because this month we're focusing on the water magnesium body butter, and I wanted to show you like in literal real time how fast it can be to make a sample for someone. Don't mind the junk sitting over here. When I make a sample, I typically like take and wipe down my workspace with Clorox wipes. You really do want it to be like clean, and I like to use something that is clean enough that I would eat off of it, right? So if you are having to dip into your product. One thing about making samples with like Soothe or Clarify or Calm, those are going to be an amazing, like just clean catch no matter what. These are the 1/8 ones that Jennifer was showing, these Laycons. Okay. So they are a little bit bigger than the 120. 1.20. That's right, right? Okay. So I'm just gonna open my body butter. I'm going to, it's a new one that has never been used, right? That's the first thing. Honestly, one thing that I did when I was in the field and I couldn't afford to just like only buy products for samples, I would buy them and I would take the first half of the tub and make samples out of it. And then I would use the rest for myself. So just just no, you guys, it doesn't have to be. Okay, so I put my little sticker on. These are printed and they're not straight. Look, okay, just like Jennifer was saying. But you know what? That works fine, especially as long as I'm including some collateral with it. I didn't have time to go to Walmart to pick up my print of water today. So you guys get it literally printed on cardstock, but I have printed them on cardstock before. And then usually what I did is I formatted them so they fit 4 to a page. And then I would write a note on the back. Okay, so that's a really, really easy way. You guys saw that took no time at all. And when I was in the field, I did not have a dedicated office space to make samples. So I would set up like our extra card table in the living room and just work in there. I would make a specific amount of samples every single month. And it was always my goal to get those samples on new people. So that's and I would make like 20 to 50, and I would give out 20 new samples to 50 new samples to people who had never tried my product before. So I really did use it that way. The other way that I used it was when I would get the calendar of product focuses, I would look over those and I would choose what I'm going to sample for the following month. One thing I do not want y'all overlooking, if I can find it, these are a sample, right? These are a sample. And these are, right, this is an investment. You're getting 5 to a pack for $24, but these are amazing as giveaways, as gifts, as Valentine's, whatever, add-ons for people who are placing an order. Place an order from me in the next 48 hours and get a free, if it's $50, well, they're getting one anyway, right? And get an extra set from me. However you want to use that. And I'm sitting here looking at my calendar, which is behind my laptop. And I know that Aura golden eye masks are going to be featured later this month. That means there's going to be a lot of information about them. They're probably going to be discounted. So I want to make sure that I'm checking in with anyone who has placed a $50 or more order between February 1st and February 25th, because I'm going to be like, hey, how did you like your Aura gold eye masks? They are featured this week. So I would look at the product offering each month and determine, okay, what am I going to sample this month and what am I not? I typically have been choosing a featured product that's later in the month to have as our sample of the month. So you have time to make your samples, to get them to people, and so that you can follow up with them. We have Water Body Duo starting the 18th this month. So just a little method to our madness there. It is okay for you to create a pre-made sample pack. Maybe I'm going to be like, okay, I have, 4 of these to offer this month. If you will do a review for me, or if you purchased this much from me in the past, there's a lot of different ways you can use those. And it's also okay. So it's okay to have something pre-made. It's also okay to talk to someone about our product line and put together a little curated sample set for them. A lot of times, if I was working with someone, Allison mentioned, people like gatekeepers at places, right? Do you want to try these samples? Giving them the opportunity to share their favorite product. That's another great way to use samples. Let's see, they mentioned sample of the month club. So I probably don't really need to touch on that very much unless you guys have questions on it. But one of the biggest things I would say, as far as making sure you're getting the most bang for your buck with sampling, is to always, always make sure that you have a way to contact the people who are receiving those samples. There are benefits to dropping samples places, especially if you have a contact there. But overwhelmingly, I really want to use sampling to connect with my customer. I want to use sampling to help someone find Soothe that they absolutely love, or water, magnesium, body butter that they need for their aching muscles, right? So I really feel like I used it almost as service. Do either of you relate to that at all? Like just a way to take care of people?
Absolutely. I feel like um, looking for that solution for people, or just I have friends that get headaches, and another customer said that the magnesium really helps the body butter if she puts it on her neck or after she gets a massage, that it helps with headaches. So I was able to forward that information and say, let me get you a sample. I don't, it may or may not help, but it helped for someone else. Um, so I think that that's definitely important to provide that customer service to people.
I love that. How about you, Jennifer?
I've done it kind of both ways. I've done it where I have the contact information, but I've also done it where I don't have the follow-up. So I used to do like little cards to our waitresses and just say, thank you for being amazing today, and just leave a sample. And yes, it costs money, but if you put a smile on their face and they talk about it to their friends and they share it, it didn't really cost me that much in the end if they come around. So I've done it both ways myself.
I love it. Yes. And I have too. There's a time and a place for both. If you only have so much to invest, is really, really, truly the time that you have to be choosy about where you are putting them, whose hands they are going into. The other thing I wanted to show you guys is, as far as getting like things lined up for printing, because it is the worst. If you can print address labels, these all say Soothe Whipped Cloud Cream, and then all they have is the QR code. Okay, so this is something that I would hold on to, and anytime someone needs a Soothe sample, even if I have my Soothe printed card or whatever, if I didn't have my QR code on there, I could put it on there. You can put it on the heat seal packs. Honestly, I mean, truly, do not get hung up on like, oh, I don't have this, so I can't do that. Like, you can literally still even just put it on here and like seal it closed, or whatever works for you. Do not let, oh, I can't do the third level of Jennifer's tools. I can't do that, so I'm not going to sample. If you feel like sampling is going to be a benefit to your business, save your commissions, buy some supplies. You don't have to have a lot to start trying, and then use your rewards, use your quick start rewards, or your redeem some of your all-inclusive rewards, your stars. Get your favorite product and start sharing it. One last thing, no one is asking any questions, so everyone just must know all about sampling, which is great. One thing on these, I did share the template, and I want you to know, if you click on this image on the template and delete it, it's just an empty photo frame. You can drop any product into here. These talking points I took directly from Sarah's product intel sheet. If the sentence was too long, I put it into Chat GPT and said, make it like this many characters or less. So I didn't even have to use my brain to come up with some of it. I mean, do read it, because sometimes Chat GPT does like real weird things. But and then I took the product description off the website, added the fragrance below, and then this empty spot right here is for your QR code. On the template, there's also one that just says contact me. So you can literally print it and just write your information on there. You do not have to have it printed at Walmart or Walgreens or anywhere else if you don't want to. We truly, truly are trying to provide you with as many options and tools as possible. So, since people don't, okay, we have people sharing some labels. Okay, I bought square ones so I can print my QR code to the product for my samples too. Christy Mo, thank you so much for sharing some one by one white sticker labels. Sarah said if you get Avery labels, their online templates are really good. You don't have to, you don't have to have Word or anything to use them. That is very true. So these are Avery. These are Avery, and on the package, I'm going to show you actually. On the package, they show you what template to use. Right here, right? It says template 18660. So you go to Avery, you type in 18660. It is going to give you the template, and then you just type it in and print it off. The other, let me show you these. I have, this is a box of 2,000. So in case anyone was wondering if I was going to continue to use sampling in my business, the answer is yes. These are from onlinelabels.com, and they are the 2" by 2" square. So these are also great, especially for heat seal packs. But if you're going with what you absolutely have to start, you need to have some sort of container, whether it's a Laycon or a heat seal pack, and a pen and paper, and you can start sampling. That is literally all you need, or enough money to buy a lot of these. No, no, but these really are a really great add-on. And just a reminder to everyone, free gifts February, $50 gets your customers one of these. So Align is kind of sampling for you this month. Last thing before we jump off, Jennifer and Allison, how do you think sampling has helped you the very most? And while I'm giving you time to think about that, I will answer first. Sampling helped me the very most to kind of get over my fear of reaching out to people because I had something to offer.
I think absolutely having samples has just increased my bottom line. Being able to offer that to someone and getting hands on product has made a big difference for my sales volume, and just I think the products have made such a big difference for my skin that it was easy for me to offer them as samples. Um, so I think it's made a big difference for me with just being able to grow my database with people because they're great products. One thing I was thinking about while you were talking, Shanae, is people trying to, if you don't have a big stock of products to pull from, I'd say really taking advantage of the different offerings every month. Using your stars, your rewards, but also taking advantage of our BOGO deals. Or like I just ordered the Ritual Trio and that free box of pods, really I'm counting that as not out of my pocket. And so those pods are great to give out as samples. Soothe was on BOGO a while back. So when they came in, I set one aside for me, for my personal stash, and one aside to use just for sampling. So really kind of looking at it that way. And I do the exact same thing that you talked about, where if I'm out of something and I'm going to open a new one, I ask my VIP group, like, hey, I'm almost out of Clarify. I'm going to be opening a new one. Anybody wanting to try this? So I think taking advantage of those offerings to get your samples out as well.
I think for me, it was helping people transition from a prior product. So getting samples on my community was a big deal when I first joined Align because I had to totally get them to shift gears, trust me with a new company, and samples was truly the way to do that. And while it's been a long road, they're slowly starting to see it. The more I share it, the more I offer it. That type of thing has really helped my business grow.
Yeah, I love that. And I definitely used it a lot too, like both of you are saying with my current community to help them buy in literally and figuratively to a new product. And upselling, Allison was saying, okay, I'm opening a new Clarify, but if someone buys a Clarify, I'm going to include a sample of Soothe, right? Or Renew, so that the next time they order Clarify, I'm going to be like, oh, hey, and what did you think about that sample I included? Do you want to order that as well? And that's something that you can include if you want to find the database spreadsheet that I shared last week. That's a great place to take notes for your customers about what you've sampled and make sure that you're following up with them. So, okay, I am really, really happy with the information that got put out here today. Thank you so much, Jennifer and Allison. Anyone who has questions about sampling and how we use it or how we have used it and how we're continuing to use it in business, ask away. This is just a really great way to get product on people and to have that touch point. So thank you so much for joining, everybody, and let's get sampling. Bye.